औज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू. Students, the topic right now is Chaucer's style and versification. This is very important question. तो इसमें सबसे पहले तो उसके स्टाइल और वर्सिफिकेशन पर जाने से पहले ये ज़रूरी है कि हम उस एज को पढ़ें, उस एज के बारे में हमारे ज़हन में होना चाहिए जिसमें कि चौसर लिख रहा था. And that age is known as medieval period. Let's take a start. 14th century was a dark epoch. Epoch means era, age. In the history of English, this statement is both historically and linguistically correct when applied to the medieval period. The English language was an infancy and required the hands of a craftsman and the mind of a genius to reach its maturity. This task was left to no other than Chaucer because other notable writers of the age, namely Wycliffe, William Langland, and Gore, wrote little in English. Even Shakespeare felt doubtful about the future of English in 16th century when much had already been accomplished. But it was Chaucer who adopted a distinct style in writing in English. Literature and language were in the process of formation, which were established on firm foundations by Chaucer. That is why Dryden hails Chaucer as father of English literature. It should be clear in one's mind कि ये Dryden था जिसने ये कहा कि Chaucer is father of English literature. This point should be clear in your mind. अगर आपसे MCQs में ये पूछा जाए कि who said Chaucer is father of English literature, so it should be clear that it was Dryden. Then one thing more is there. English is linguistically divided into three periods. English को अगर हम इसकी history में divide करते हैं तो historically इसकी ages में, इसके periods में अगर हम divide करते हैं, इसके facets में हम इसे divide करते हैं, तो it has three parts. It has three periods. It belongs to three different ages and periods. The one is Old English dating from 5th to 14th century, and the second is Middle English from 14th to 18th century, and third one is Modern English from 18th century to the present day or present times. These are three periods. It is very important thing. अगर क्वेश्चन में ये आपसे पूछा जाए कि in how many parts or periods or ages English is divided into on the basis of its linguistic characteristics or linguistically इसकी अगर types देखनी पड़े periods के लिहाज से तो वो हमारे पास linguistically English belongs to three different ages, three different periods, three different eras, three different facets. Chaucer was born in what is called the age of Middle English. His style and contribution to the English language are remarkable. That is why David H. is averse with Chaucer, English language matured. The remark is true as earlier writers like King Alfred used English as it was and made no significant changes. Now, discuss this point related to the prologue to Canterbury Tales. The prologue is Chaucer's most celebrated and established work in which he uses a narrative style to express his viewpoint. इसमें कौन सा style उसने अपनाया है? It should be clear कि he has used narrative style. He uses several poetic devices. This point should also be clear. He uses several poetic devices to liven up his style. Chaucer followed the rhetorical principles laid down by Godfrey de Vinsau in his Nova Poetria. These principles are description and narrative. ठीक है, अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि नोवा पोएट्रिया में गॉफर्ड ने कितने प्रिंसिपल्स ड्रॉ किए? वो प्रिंसिपल्स कौन से हैं, वो रूल्स कौन से हैं, उसमें दो चीजें आएंगी. वन इज डिस्क्रिप्शन एंड द सेकंड इज नरेशन. His descriptive and narrative technique is nowhere as visible as in the Canterbury Tales. And the most remarkable thing is that he consummates the style as a word by Robert P. Miller, Chaucer played. He uses mainly the descriptive style and in the tales he implies the narrative style. It should be clear कि prologue to Canterbury Tales जो है, this is prologue and tales are still to be learned. You have to learn these tales in the second semester. Second semester में हम nuns priests tale जो है वो पढ़ेंगे. तो tales में उसका जो style था वो narrative है, mainly उसका descriptive style है. The subtly adapted language and perspectives to his individual tellers and thus established a model for Shakespeare and the Elizabethan dramatists. Why Robert Miller or David Ditch's credit Chaucer can be best understood by examining the salient characteristics of his style. अब जो salient characteristics of his style हैं, we have to discuss them one by one. Chaucer के style में सबसे पहले जो आएगा वो कौन सा है? ये salient characteristics of his style, इसको main features of his style भी कहा जा सकता है, chief features of his style भी कहा जा सकता है. तो first one is, the very first is, firstly, Chaucer's style is marked by lucidity of expression, joyous, originality, and easiness, free of ambiguities and direct philosophical maxims. What is found in his style? That is lucidity of expression, first thing. Joyous originality is the second thing. Easiness and free of ambiguities, third thing है. And direct philosophical maxims, this is one of the all others. In describing nearly all his characters, he uses colloquial language easy to understand for a common man. For example, Chaucer says, night was as meek as maid, or Prioress let no morsel fall from her lips. His similes and metaphors are befittingly applied throughout the prologue. This is also important thing that he has taken support of similes and metaphors to enrich his prologue. Secondly, the second point is, his style is not bookish or crammed. His style is rather cultivated. What type of his style is? His style is cultivated and tailored as much as to the intellectuals as to the layman. This is the reason the prologue has been popular with men of all levels of understanding. Then comes the third thing, the third feature. Thirdly, style is humorous and ironical. Uska style kya hai? Humorous hai or ironical hai. His style is not pointed like that of juvenile or swift. He does criticize society. In fact, his prologue is a criticism of life, in the words of Matthew Arnold, as literature should be. But he passes from character to character with a smile and uses irony as his weapon to attack the follies of society rather than satire. It means that he is using different devices, different poetic devices are used by Chaucer. Fourth point, the fourth feature is here. Chaucer takes up the description of his characters from the positive traits and jumps to the negative ones to startle the reader. This is a wonderful progress. This is a wonderful attempt on the part of Chaucer. Chaucer always, first of all, exposes positive traits of a character, then he goes to the negative one, and the reader is startled and enjoys a lot. Scare, Prioress, and Wife of Bath are good characters in the first few lines. It is just after a few remarks that we come to understand their real nature. This should be clear. अगर हम उसका टेक्स्ट पढ़ते हैं तो ये कैरेक्टर्स जो हैं इनको जरा एनालाइज करके देखिएगा कि इसमें जितने भी कैरेक्टर्स का उसने उन कैरेक्टर्स को अनफोल्ड किया है. जो फर्स्ट फ्यू लाइंस हैं उसमें उसके रिमार्क्स उनके मुताल्लिक जो हैं वो पढ़ने के बाद हम अंदाजा नहीं लगा सकते हैं कि व्हाट इज गोइंग टू अनफोल्ड, but then the reader is startled to know about all these characters when he criticizes these people. Fifthly, the fifth main characteristic, fifthly, his style is not ostentatious. He doesn't exhibit his art through his style. वो अपने आर्ट को अपने स्टाइल के जरिए एक्सिबिट नहीं कर रहा है, ostentatious नहीं है. We simply see the picture of society and not the technique through which it was drawn. So Chaucer believes in the words of Swift that real art lies in the concealment of art. This is a wonderful effort and a wonderful achievement of Chaucer, that he has succeeded in unfolding his characters and art as well. And he has utilized the real art that lies in the concealment of art. If we are to conclude all these things, we can conclude the discussion by saying that his style is narrative, descriptive, and reflective, and has all qualities of speech. His sentences are short and simple in their structure. His stylistic qualities and poetic genius contributed to English what no other did before his time, as ascertained by David H. With Chaucer, the English language and literature grew at a bound to full maturity. No other Middle English writer has his skill, his range, his complexity, and his large human outlook. His high humor and ironical pieces have rendered such success to English, which can only be compared to those of Emperor Augustus in ancient Rome, who found Rome as brick and left it as marble. An apt remark from Lowell will finally conclude the topic that Chaucer found English in dialect and left it a language. This is all about Chaucer's narrative style. तो इसमें अब देखें वन बाय वन इन तमाम चीज़ों को देखिए कि सबसे पहले हमें ये जानना होगा to what age Chaucer belonged. Okay, then why was he called father of English literature? Who called him? Who named him father of English literature? It was Dryden who hails Chaucer as father of English literature. In how many parts can we divide English linguistically? In how many periods, in how many ages can we divide English linguistically? These are three main ages. One is from 5th to 14th century. The second is from 14th to 18th century. And the modern English from 18th up to the present times. Then comes his prologue to Canterbury Tales, to what extent he is successful in narrating, in picturizing and portraying his characters and society. तो उसमें वो different poetic devices use करता है. You know different poetic devices you have learned in literary terms and literary English. उसमें जो आपका एक वो अलग से एक पूरा सब्जेक्ट है, इंट्रोडक्शन टू लिटरेरी स्टडीज, उसमें पोएटिक डिवाइसेस आपने पढ़ी हैं, और वो तमाम पोएटिक डिवाइसेस जो हैं डिफरेंट किस्म की चौसर ने यूज की हैं. फिर उसमें रिटोरिकल प्रिंसिपल है, उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन और नैरेटिव स्टाइल जो है वो है, ठीक है, ये इसकी टेक्निक आती है. अब ये बात बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि प्रोलॉग में उसने डिस्क्रिप्टिव स्टाइल यूज किया है, वेयर एज in his tales he has used narrative style. और जो इसके main features हैं, main or salient features, salient characteristics of his style. So first one we have already discussed that his narrative has lucidity of expression. He has clearly expressed whatever he wanted to, and there is a joyous originality in his portrayal of his society and characters. And so far as ambiguities are concerned, there is no ambiguity. He has clearly put before the readers a clear picture of his age. Then his use of similes and metaphors is there. उसके बाद second quality में उसके आता है कि his style was not bookish or crammed. वो bookish knowledge के जरिए जो है इस चीज को नहीं लिख रहा था, different techniques को पहले पढ़ा और उसे imply किया. But he was a born poet. Basically, he was a genius person. तो इसमें हर किस्म के लोगों के मुतल्लक और लोगों के लिए उसने लिखा है. आप देखेंगे इसने जो हाईएस्ट जो क्लास ऑफ सोसाइटी है उसको और लोएस्ट क्लास, इन दोनों को छोड़ के दरमियान में जो क्लासेस हैं वो सारी की सारी उसने बयान की हुई हैं। ह्यूमरस और आयरॉनिकल स्टाइल उसका बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। ये उसके स्टाइल का ह्यूमर और आयरनी एंड सटायर उसके मेन फीचर्स में आता है स्टाइल के। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट वन है कि he do not unfold things, he has never unfolded anything from negative to positive. He moves from positive to negative. First he presents a positive picture. First he uh, describes positive features, traits and characteristics of a character and the society, and then he moves to the negative one. For example, in case of scare, priors and wife of bath, you know, अगर उसकी हम लाइनें पढ़ते हैं तो टेक्स्ट से आपने भी पढ़ा है, टेक्स्ट हमने क्लास में ये सारा पढ़ा था, डिस्कस किया था। तो इसमें सब में आपने देखा है कि वो कैरेक्टर्स को किस तरह पॉजिटिव से नेगेटिव की तरफ लेके जाता है। एंड द रीडर इज टर्न टू रीड ऑल दीज थिंग्स, देन ही इज एंजॉयिंग द होल लिटरेचर, देन देयर इज कंक्लूजन। तो इसको इन लेवल्स पे और इन तमाम चीज़ों को ज़हन में रखते हुए आपने अटेम्प्ट करना है। इसमें से कुछ एमसीक्यूज भी डेवलप हो रहे हैं, वो भी सारे आपने करने हैं। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू, अल्लाह हाफिज़।